Welcome, everybody. We're here to talk about winter skate today. With that, we're going to bring up Captain Scott MacAllister and crewman Sean Connors. Come on.
Day in the life fishing for skates. So in the wintertime, you chase them south of the islands. They kind of vary in depth. They'll go from like 10, 15 fathoms down to, they go all the way down to 100 fathoms. So we pretty much chase those things around, and it's either hit or miss. It seems like you get a whole bunch of them or you miss them completely. So you basically haul the net up and you bop them real quick to settle them down, and then you throw them in the checkers.
We've got some video of that a little later.
Yeah. It's better that they don't know what's coming.
So where do you guys fish for skates?
Mostly, I mean, it can be found all year round, but mostly east of Chatham, about what, 8 to 12 miles?
Yeah.
Depending on the season. Yeah, they're not long days. I mean, start it in the morning, 5 a.m. or so, or whatever. 8-hour days. Yeah, and then you're done by like 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
We're going to let these guys narrate this video for you. They're going to explain what's going on.
This is footage from my forehead, so you get to see my view from the boat as well. A little cleanup from the set before. Basically, there'll be one guy in the back there who does what's called flaking, and he's pulling in the net and straightening it out, bit of mending, making sure it's running clean. Yeah, we're just cleaning up. Yeah, and that's the hauler there and the roller where the nets come around, and then 3 guys will stand at the table and pick the fish out. Yeah, and there's the wheelhouse there. Quick break for food. Quick powwow, yeah.
You're dragging the net.
No, the net will stay idle, and we go and pick it up at one end, pull the fish out, and then it's all sitting in the boat. You know, the whole, say it's, what, 3/4 of a mile of net, and then once we're all done and it's cleaned up, then we'll just set it back. And once the anchor's back, it pulls over, and then it'll stay there for days. We'll come back and pick it up again.
Fish out one at a time?
Yeah, one at a
Yep,
time.
you'll see it here. We've got some
Yeah.
video coming.
So that's the high flyer, so you can find it on the radar. It sticks out of the water.
That metal part helps ping off the radar, gives it a little surface to send it back, helps us find it again, and then we start with that. That was that long line that went up to the surface, so we'll just start hauling there.
And you didn't pull up on it, right? So
Yeah.
you spin around on it.
So we're a little back on it.
Yeah.
That's Greg.
Yeah, that's my
That
dad
is
there.
Greg.
You make sure you don't pull the lines out of his hands. Yeah.
And everybody's got a certain spot they stand on in the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier, you might have seen everybody was sort of getting into position, like.
Yeah, you will stay in the same spot every time for consistency, and then you just know exactly what you have to do, which helps.
It's almost like a sports team. You know, you have like your net box guy, you have your picker guy, you have the guy who coils,
Yeah.
and then you have we have one guy who while we're coiling the buoy line, he goes inside and gets everybody snacks.
So that's the hammering part. Yeah.
So why do you hammer them?
I mean, hammering, from my understanding, it really is a quick death. This is the cutting process, the de-winging, if you will. That's basically where the racks are separated off, which are getting used for lobster bait mostly. And then the wings is the kind of the main product, the ideal one. And that's, you're separating the wings off through cutting. And that's our job. And then we send them to the fish buyers like that, and then they'll finish it off.
And with that, I will bring up Kate Masury from Eating with the Ecosystem.
I'm Kate Masury. I'm the director of Eating with the Ecosystem. So we're another nonprofit. We're actually based in Rhode Island, so I came from Rhode Island today. But we do work all around New England to promote what we call a place-based approach to sustaining New England's wild seafood. What fish eat is really important to understand because it helps describe the flavors of it. And so I think that shellfish-rich diet of the skate gives it a really sweet, kind of briny flavor that is, I would say, comparable to a scallop. Basically, there's cartilage that kind of goes through the middle, and so there's a fillet on top and a fillet on bottom. And so once you've removed that skin, you can either enjoy that skate wing actually with cartilage in. So some chefs will actually cook it bone in, as they call it, and that adds a lot of moisture to your dish. A lot of times if you're baking it or roasting it in sauces and stuff like that, they'll leave the bone in, and it adds some different flavor and moisture, and kind of is really good that way. But you can also just fillet it. And so a lot of times if you're buying it at a fish market, you'll just see the fillet of the skate, which is kind of what's happening over here. And I have more pictures on the next slide. But you'll just get the fillet. There's no bones. If you're someone who doesn't like to get pin bones in your fish, skate's a great option because there's no pin bones. In terms of cooking, skate's one of my favorites to cook at home, actually. It's really versatile. Skate's super simple that way. It cooks up pretty quickly. I think one thing that's really nice about it is that it doesn't dry out super easily. It kind of holds its moisture well, and so it's kind of hard to mess up. As soon as it turns pure white, you're good. And it's pretty thin fillets, and so it cooks up pretty quickly. So this is a picture of a miso glazed skate. I marinated this one in some miso paste. I think there's mostly just miso paste and a little oil actually in that dish. And then I just pan seared that one also, but I've also done that grilled and you get a nice char on it, which is really good. So especially in the summer, I feel like that's a great way to go is grilling it. You just want to make sure you oil the grates on your grill so that it doesn't stick too much. Or if you have a grill pan, you can do that also. Another nice thing about skate is I think it freezes really well. So one thing being like a shark, in the shark kind of family, being a cartilaginous fish, I feel like sometimes the shelf life of those animals is not as good. Like once it's kind of filleted and in your fridge or at the fish market, it can go bad a little bit more quickly. And so buying frozen skate is one really good option, and it's easy to get kind of. You can just keep it in your freezer, thaw it when you need it, and then use it right away. Go into your fish market, and whether it's skate or you want to try monkfish or you want to try dogfish or whatever else that you're kind of interested in trying, ask for it. Ask your market to see if they'll special order it for you, because if these are not maybe one of the markets that you normally shop at and you want to go to your favorite fish market that you go to all the time, see if they'll order it for you, because a lot of times skate's caught locally, as you know, and so they have access to it. They just don't carry it a lot of times because they don't think people actually want to buy it. And so if you as consumers help create demand for that product, you'll start to see more fish markets actually carrying that product. And so, yeah, I would say ask for it at whatever fish market you like to shop at, but here's some great examples of places that have it in stock most of the time.
Tonight's seafood sample has been prepared by Chef Tyler Hadfield. He is the chef at the Barley Neck. So his sample tonight is a curried skate wing with sticky coconut rice and a tomato masala chutney.